for the same shit. I went to jail. I had to go pre-trial diversion. Had to pay all this money and stuff. I said, damn, what you get? Oh man, they called me with 5 months and I got a ticket. I just had to pay a fine. I'm like, damn, dude, I got caught with a joint and I had to do all this. And you know what I'm saying? So like basically he's doing that. That is another thing he's doing on top of to garner black voters, because as you know, the black grassroots, we kind of calling the Democrats out on a lot of shit they doing now, and we're not gonna vote for you if we can't get reparations or no tangibles. Little state giving us state holidays or federal holidays, all those little symbolic gestures is not gonna cut it anymore. To get the black vote, we want something for our vote, just like any other group wants for their vote. Something tangible,
right. Earn the motherfucker.
Exactly, or reparations or something like that. But
just something that's for the blacks.
Yeah, not a minority lift all program, because we all know when they do a lift all, we're still at the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody has been getting earmarked, specific benefits for stuff. You got the Asian crime bill, hate crime bill.
And they got 50 million behind that too.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then, stuff like that where
LGBTQ.
And then they kind of balk at giving stuff to black people. Just like Obama, he did the same thing. Like he said, they'll string me up. Mm-hmm. But, somebody got to fall on the grenade.
Exactly. Somebody had tried. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man.
Like I said, the LGBT community gets things specifically for their group, because they always try to say they can't do nothing specifically for black folks, but you could do something specifically for LGBTQ. Like if you would live in California and you're gay, and I think I want to say it's Palm Springs, California, you can get a $900 check just for being gay monthly. Now I'm just saying it's California. I mean, 900 probably ain't gonna go too far, but at the same time, it's free $900 a month coming to, you know what I'm saying, whatever else you got going on.
Doctor bills.
Exactly. I mean, it's still $900. It's still almost $1,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? For somebody to use, or it's still tangible.
Free money, man.
And it's money. You know what I'm saying? Look, there was no study on it. They didn't have to do a study. They didn't have to see if they should get it. What they did, all they did was go vote and say, hey, they should get $900 a month. And that shit went right through. There was
ain't nobody out there donating plasma no more.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, damn. So it's like I don't want to hit excuse no more that you can't do nothing specifically for one group, because there's all Hispanics. You got the Ukrainians. They ain't even Americans. They getting shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I understand it's a flip for the USA, because USA is giving money to Ukraine to boost the dollar, so the dollar itself can go up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get that part of it.
There's some synergetic effect there.
Right. I get that political part, but at the same time, they still getting something. They getting money. Was there a study done? Like,
hell yeah,
they do a study to see if Ukraine should get this money.
What we get, a mural, some statues taken down?
We got a mural, a couple statues taken down. And then the messed up part is, even when you talk about reparations, people always want to tell you what you should do with the money. Now, when other groups get money, nobody tell them what they should do with their money. They do free to spend their money freely, like human beings should be able to do. If they want to go buy a whole truckload of bread, they can go do that. You know what I'm saying? If they want to go buy, nobody says, hey, we're going to give just like when the Japanese, they got their money reparations for the internment camps. Nobody said, hey, well, Japanese people, what are you going to do with the money? We don't know if we should give it to you. Nobody says shit. They just gave them their money. You know what I'm saying? Because they should have got it. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing right now going on with Biden, is he's doing a lot of things. Another thing he just did recently to piggyback off of that was, I know you heard about this, Swag, the thing he did with the student loans. Taking the student loans and stuff. That was just another look so that, he like,
when he walked it back.
Yeah, because he wanted to get some more black voters. So he was like, I'll walk back. You know what I'm saying? The student loan.
He said, I ain't gonna be able to. At first he promised this shit.
Right.
Then he said, I can't really afford to. But then he said, I'm gonna have to give y'all a little something to get y'all out there.
Exactly. Everything, man. This politics is funny, man. This dude, man, like he he really doesn't want to do nothing for black people themselves. Like, let's just keep it real. Also, Scamala was in the media.
Oh,
Your girl, she was in the media. Where's she at, man? We can't get her, but she was in the
she
media.
was up there.
Oh yeah, there she go. She was in the media talking mess too. And she was recently, check this out. She was recently at a dinner at the Freedmen's Bank Forum. VP Harris has announced $100 million support for minority-owned firms. Now listen to this. The U.S. Department of Treasury celebrated its annual Freedmen's Bank Forum on Tuesday in Washington, D.C. in recognition of the 158th anniversary of the chartering of the Freedmen's Savings and Trust Company, commonly referred to as the Freedmen's Bank. The bank was created to provide economic opportunity for newly emancipated Americans. They say Americans in this, which we are, but it was really Black Americans. It wasn't for all Americans. It's Black Americans. And the 2022 forum focused on ways to increase community and economic development and the role that minority depository institutions play in broad-based economic growth and the financial health of all Americans. Now, let's check this out. Vice President Kamala Harris used this platform to announce public and private sector effort to advance racial economic equity, she said. So she wants to close the wealth gap. Small businesses are engines of our economy and the path to economic prosperity for countless Americans in underserved communities. Once again, the verbiage, in underserved communities. So that's supposed to mean Black people, but we don't know.
Yeah, but that shit gonna get spread like Peter Pan.
Exactly. It could go to Asians in Black. It can go to Hispanics. It can go to. It doesn't. So once again,
they gonna give you that shit out.
Once again, you got to watch the verbiage. Community leaders, including MDS and others, are vital to unlocking the full economic potential of these communities, turning previous sideline talent to a source of economic growth and shared prosperity for all. Harris said Black-owned businesses, now she brings Black-owned, listen, Harris said Black-owned businesses routinely have more difficulty in finding funding and acknowledge that they are the first to suffer during an economic downturn. Now listen to this. Harris said the Small Business Administration would propose a rule later this year to expand its lender base by lifting the moratorium on new small business lending companies. The action would allow new leaders to apply for a license to other SBA-backed small business loans. Also, the Minority Business Development Agency will issue $100 million notice of funding opportunity to provide technical assistance grants for entrepreneurship, technical assistance providers to help businesses owned by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. Now, it went from saying, she went to saying Black-owned businesses to when you get down to talking about the money, that the verbiage changes. So Brother 3 told us to watch this. The Minority Business Development Agency, MBA, will issue $100 million. I'm going to say it again, $100 million notice of funding opportunity to provide a technical assistance grants for entrepreneurship technical assistance providers to help businesses owned by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. So that could be any motherfucking body.
Yeah.
It says socially disadvantaged.
Yeah, I mean, economic. Washer and dryer down the street,
See what I'm saying? So that's what we have to do, guys. You always have to watch the verbiage. When you hear somebody saying, "Oh, they support reparations," go look at what the verbiage is when they get to the money part, because that's when the verbiage changes up. Now, Kamala, she said Black-owned businesses. Now she did. In one part, before we get to the money, she said Black-owned businesses routinely have more difficulty. She just said we got more difficulty getting the money, right? But then when you go to the money, talk about the money verbiage, what they gonna do, the $100 million notice, then it says to help business owned by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. It doesn't say Black businesses. It didn't say
shit. That goes outside of minorities.
See what I'm saying? So this is, once again, this is in the famous words, this is a nothing burger. Brother Tree, this is a nothing burger. That's my dude. That really is a nothing burger. She ain't talking about shit. I mean, because that's what matters. Like even in that's why that's why they have lawyers. Because when it comes down to it, when you get to contracts and the nitty gritty, it's all about the verbiage. Go ahead, Swag.
Oh, I was gonna say that's the kind of stuff they give you that make you lean in your seat, and then you listen to the full context. You be like, oh, shit.
Right, exactly. Because really, you're right. It could be anybody. It could be a white woman, because that's a white woman. Are you viewed as minorities? She's socially.
Yeah, basically anybody off Rodeo or Rodeo Drive,
Right. You know what I'm saying? Even shit, as a white man, you can say you disadvantaged. Socially, I'm disadvantaged. Shit.
Hell yeah. You could be refurbishing laundry machines.
Right.
And getting grants and shit.
Under this SBA, which is supposed to be for minority or black, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, when you hear minority, or anytime you hear minority or underserved communities or anything like that, and they say it's for black people, but then when you get down to the breaking down the numbers, and you don't see the word black no more. You start seeing.
Hey, and I'm all about anybody getting their wheels greased.
Absolutely.
But why you greasing everybody else's wheels exclusively? Give me some exclusive grease.
Right. Right, because if you look, you can look up opportunities for Hispanic people, and when you look in there, it'll say Hispanic businesses, or it'll say, you know what I'm saying, for Latino community,
itemized.
Latino. It don't say for underserved. Well, we can kind of get some of their money. We could jump in. I can say, well, shit, I want, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But when it's for us, it's open to everybody. When it's for specific, or if let's say specifically for LGBT community, it'll say LGBT community specifically. Like, oh well, I can't apply for that because that's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? But with us, it's open to interpretation.
Yeah, but $900 ain't worth that type of facade.
Hell no, you know what I'm saying? We gotta come to your crib and check. We want to see it in action, goddamn.
Show me the receipts, nigga.
Hell yeah. But man, it's just crazy. Like I say, when around this time of year, when you get into the political arena, I mean, you're gonna see politicians doing a lot of stuff to make themselves look better. Even Uncle Mammy, as they call her, Lightfoot, Mayor Lightfoot, one thing she's doing. She says, if you vote for her right now, she won't raise the property taxes, and everybody know that lives in the Chicagoland area. That is a huge thing. So she's positioning herself like, hey, look, vote for me. I ain't gonna raise taxes for 2 years. I think she said 2 years, allegedly. You see my allegedly at the bottom. I think it was 2 years. So she doing that to garner votes, because before the voting period, she wasn't talking about that shit. So you got to hold these politicians' feet to the fire when you want something, and we gonna definitely hold them to the fire about the reparations, man. We got to get it, man. Y'all we got to have it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, it got to be no reparations and no vote right now. I got to do just like they do in Washington. When they don't agree on something in Washington, they abstain. They say, "What's your governor such and such? What do you?" I abstain my vote. They don't vote on nothing that they don't support. They don't just do it because they don't take the lesser of the evils.
They just won't sway the vote at all.
Exactly. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Like, you ain't really talking about that.
You're gonna use the abstention rule.
Yeah, I abstain. I'm well within my legal rights as an American to abstain my vote. You know what I'm saying? And my people did fight for that right.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been almost a religious voter, but they're gonna have to show me something.
Yeah, man.
Show me something this time. That's all.
Yeah. They're moving right along. Another piece of news coming out, man. This is a little bad news for us, man. For our brother there, man. There was a study in Philadelphia. Well, actually, Philadelphia, the city of Philadelphia apologizes for experiments on black male inmates. So the city of Philadelphia issued an apology Thursday for the unethical medical experiments performed on mostly black inmates at its Holmesburg prison from the 1950s through the 1970s. The move comes after community activists and families of some of the inmates raised the need for a formal apology. It also follows a string of apologies from various U.S. cities over historically racist policies or wrongdoing in the wake of the nationwide racial reckoning after the killing of George Floyd. The city allowed University of Pennsylvania researcher Dr. Albert Kligman to conduct the dermatological biochemical and pharmaceutical experiments that intentionally exposed about 300 inmates to viruses, fungus, asbestos, and chemical agents, including dioxin, a component of Agent Orange. The vast majority of Kleeman's experiments were performed on Black men, many of whom were awaiting trial and trying to save money for bail, and many of whom who were illiterate, the city said. Kleeman would go on to pioneer the acne and wrinkle cream, Retin A. He died in 2010. Many of the former inmates would have lifelong scars and health issues from the experiments. A group of the inmates filed a lawsuit against the university and Kleeman in 2000, and that was ultimately thrown out because of a statute of limitations. The Philadelphia mayor, Jim Kenney, said in an apology that the experiments exploited a vulnerable population and the impact of the medical racism was extended for generations. Man, that's crazy. What do you think about that?
Man, I tell you this. Peter must be on their ass so hard when they quit using guinea pigs and shit.
Right.
Yeah, they did the blazing saddles. Man, don't use a horse. Just send a couple niggas.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We was before the damn animals and shit. Use them.
That's cool.
They in jail. Shit. They ain't nobody on them. And then the bad part is they families couldn't even get compensation because they talking about statute of limitations. That the city, they gonna say, how is it a statute of limitations on that? I don't know how, but last year the University of Pennsylvania issued a formal apology and took Kleeman's name off some honorifics like an annual lecture series and professorship. The university also directed research funds to fellows focus on dermatological issues and people of color. It says, the mayor said, without excuse, we formally officially extend a sincere apology to those who were subjected to this inhumane and horrific abuse. We're also sorry it took far too long to hear these words. Now, the thing is that I don't like is, how is it a statute of limitations on that? Like, y'all, they can't get paid. See, like, when it comes to us, it's always, forget about it. That was so long ago. Why are you guys bringing that up?
Yeah, we'll do better. We'll do
next time. Yeah. But when it's somebody else that experienced, let it be Ukraine, let it be anybody else, they pay them out. Oh my God, that's so horrific. We got to do something about that. They quick to jump on it. You know what I'm saying? But when it's something done to us, oh man, we're sorry. We just get an apology. Walk it off. Pat on the butt. Walk it off. It's sorry. We sorry. Walk it off.
Yeah, get back out there.
I mean, I don't understand how it could be a statute of limitations on that. These men were abused. They were given experiments. See, like just like the Tuskegee experiments, they always experiment on us and do all this shit, and we don't get no compensation. Like Henrietta Lacks. Is Henrietta Lacks family balling? I hope they is. Right. You know what I'm saying? But more likely, I don't know, but more likely, I bet you they not. They probably somewhere struggling like a motherfucker. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? They use us, man. Like, that's one thing I do not like, man. Like, damn, man, why we can't just get compensated for what's due? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying.
The only people getting it like it come are the relatives of Uncle Nearest, the Jack Daniels people.
Yeah.
They taking care of the people who
okay, that's good. Well, that is good. But it's like, man, I mean, these men, so you did all kind of science, let this motherfucking weird scientist come in and do all kind of science experiments on these brothers, and they families can't get compensated. And they living with the scars. He dead. So they living with the scars. A lot of them still living, and they can't get a check. All they can get is, we sorry.
Yeah. Basically, they saying none of your offspring can't get paid off our fuck up.
Right, we sorry. I told him, man, keep y'all fucking apology. Fuck y'all apology. Keep y'all motherfucking apology.
Run me my munties.
Exactly. Like, I mean, what is an apology doing for me? Like, I just been waiting for the day y'all motherfuckers apologize to me for this. Apologize with some motherfucking dividends. You know what I'm saying? Apologize with some motherfucking dividends. Goddamn it! That brother we were showing. The brother we was showing earlier, Edward Anthony, he's one of the inmates at Holmesburg Prison. He was one of them, and the test in which he participated in, while inmate picture here, in 2007, he was pictured. That picture was from him in 2007. The city of Philly, apologized for the unethical treatment. But like, what is that doing for him? That brother's still alive. What is that doing for this brother? Our brother here, he's still alive.
That nigga like Ahmad Jamal shit.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't know what debilitating life stuff he's dealing with.
Oh man, they gas masked him, put him in gas chambers and shit.
You know what I'm saying? And then the city of Philly, and then that ain't Philly's first time fucking up black people, because remember they firebomb remember the group, the black people, they firebomb, and then they had their remains in their museum and shit for years and years and shit, and their families fighting to get the remains. Like Philly, they was doing some sick shit to black people, man.
That's colonial America. That's where it all started.
For real, man. Like you had motherfucking black people's remains in universities and shit, and the family can't even get their bodies. You firebomb these people, and innocent kids, and everybody got killed, and you wouldn't even get the remains to the family, and they had the remains for over 30, 40 years. I seen one where a brother got his sister's remains, and this dude was crying and crying and crying, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because you can finally get closure.
Right. He hadn't seen his sister since the day she went to the thing. I think they was like an after school program there, but he didn't go. And he's like, last time he seen his sister, she was like 8 years old. He was 8 years old. So he like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So that's why we need reparations now, man. Fuck an apology, man. It ain't fair that other groups get monetary apologies. And we get symbolic gestures. We get
you say you want the bread with no caviar.
You know what I'm saying? I want the same thing. At least the same thing the Indians got. Shit. You know what I'm saying?
Now that would be something.
And that's the minimum. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the bare minimum there.
Bare minimum. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At least give me the compensation package they got. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. But I'm sorry, y'all know this stuff hit me, man. But
he lit up.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This is one of our longer episodes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Definitely moving right along. A little more entertainment for our swag, man. We're gonna end. We got 2 more stories coming up. We're gonna be at the end of our roll here. But this story, I know you're a big Netflix fan. That's why I saw this article, and I thought you also watch Bridgerton, you know what I'm saying, with your woman and stuff. So I know this would affect you. Check this out. It was a story that came out about your girl, Queen Charlotte, who everybody know. Queen Charlotte, North Carolina is named after Queen Charlotte. It's been known for years that Queen Charlotte was black. If you see the picture there, she definitely
she look real ethnic in them.
Yeah, you can see it all day in the face.
Queen.
You know what I'm saying?
Queen, yeah.
You definitely see it. Basically, there was an article that came out. The idea that Queen Charlotte was part black was popularized by one historian. It says, but others say that's just a myth. Now it's a myth.
Well, she like somebody named Denise.
Right, and I do a small debunking of this myth as well, y'all. But this is the original Queen opinion of Queen Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Who Charlotte, North Carolina is named after. Now, this Charlotte here, this is her in the Netflix series that's coming out, because there's a Bridgerton spinoff.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
So this is supposed to be her. That's the woman who's going to be playing her. They really look real identical if you look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but you can definitely see that old picture and see that face, just the facial structure. You're like, no, she looked like an albino sister, or you know what I'm saying? Like you see it when you just see them red babies in your neighborhood. Some little light skinned red babies.
Yeah, hair color. The hair be looking like taco meat.
Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? But there was an article that came out, man, that said the TV shows like Bridgerton and this upcoming Netflix spinoff portray a black Queen Charlotte. They lean into a theory popularized, they say, by just one historian who asserts that she was biracial. But other scholars are highly skeptical of the theory, pointing to inconsistencies in the claim. The Queen Charlotte in Bridgerton, played by Golda Rashoval, I hope I said her name right, commanded the screen with her icy stare, towering wigs, and lavish gowns. Also stood out for her role as Black monarch, reigning over a reimagined, racially integrated London. The upcoming spinoff, Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story, goes back in time, explores Charlotte's and King George's third's love story, and how it sparked a societal shift, creating the world of the ton inherited by the characters of Bridgerton. So basically, now the historians who were trying to debunk or trying to say that she wasn't black, they said basically the real Regency era from 1811 to 1820 was nowhere near as diverse as the shows have reimagined. Slavery wasn't abolished in England until 1833, and people of color were relegated to domestic work. Bridgerton leans into one historian's theory that Queen Charlotte was descended from a black branch of the Portuguese royal family, which she was. Because I'm going to debunk, I'm going to show you how. The problem with the theory is that it's been knocking around on the internet, reported by the likes of the New York Times, and gained the veneer of respectability. Historian Lisa Hilton told Insider, but one can say there's absolutely no credible evidence that she was black. Now all of a sudden she ain't black no more. Now Queen Charlotte ain't black, but y'all show having y'all asses in every Egyptian movie. The Egyptians look like motherfucking paler than goddamn Dracula. I'm Egyptian, even though it's hot ass sun out here. I'm pale white, motherfucker. Even though I live on the equator, I just have this pale ass skin. Get the fuck out of here. So now they trying to come at us. But check this out. I'm gonna check. Princess Charlotte was born to the royal family of Mecklenburg, Strelitz, in a small Dutch duchy or duché. I don't know, I might be spelling it wrong, in Germany. As a minor German princess, major sway in politics, she deemed a suitable match for George III, who inherited the British throne in 1760. And let me see, moving right along here. Okay. Let me get to the part where I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get to the part where she is they saying that she's not their reason she was not. Okay, here it goes. One historian popularized the idea that Queen Charlotte was biracial. The theory she was biracial emerged in 1997. Mario de Valdez E. Cocom, who described himself as a historian of the African diaspora, said that at least 492 lines of descent can be traced from Queen Charlotte to the illegitimate son of King Alfonso of Portugal and his Moorish mistress. Concombe penned this argument on what he perceived as subtleties in coloring and facial bone structure of individuals of African descent, pointing to a portrait by the official royal painter, Alan Ramsay, which is this picture. So he said in this picture, she definitely has features of African descent compared to other, people at that period. You can see it. I mean, you see it all day.
Yeah.
I mean, you really see it all day. So him and this dude is, he's Spanish or whatever. And so he said, yeah, he's like, no, she's mixed. But other historians have argued that his theory is inconclusive. Hilden said his assertion that Queen Charlotte is part Moorish is completely unfounded, as the terms do not necessarily refer to a person of African descent. Instead, they say in Moorish, it doesn't refer to a term of African descent. Instead, it was a general term used for the inhabitants, black, white, or otherwise, of the Moorish Empire in North Africa and Spain. That's not true.
Oh,
that's not true. That's not true. Anytime you watch, even let's take it now. Let's take it to preschool of let's go preschool with this shit real quick. Even if you go by movies, Robin Hood movies, anytime they said Moor, that motherfucker was black. Period.
Black Knight.
And I'm not saying, actually, I do believe there were white Moors, and they said North Africa. Still, they're African. But then they say Spain. But then they said there was some white Moors in Spain. Now, I'm not gonna sit up here and say I don't know all the research about the Moors. I do know there were some that Moors, there were people who were Moorish outside of being, or Muslim. Maybe I'm thinking Muslim. I don't know, but I do know for a fact there were black Moors. Anytime the term Moor was used at that time, it meant black person.
Well, like the Moors was a brotherhood that came out of the Morocco, Egypt area,
right,
just on the south of the Mediterranean. But it's not a big secret that most of the Moors were black. Now there were white Moors also as well, just born in from mixed lineage.
There you go. That's what I was thinking too. I have heard that before. Now this other historian says even if that were the case, after 500 years, it is extremely unlikely the traces of genetic makeup would have appeared in the features of an 18th century princess. That's not true. As you know, in black society, you could have two light-skinned black people have a baby, and you'd have light skin, light skin, light skin, light skin, and all of a sudden, dark skin, dark
Yeah,
skin. And it,
genetics, man.
and it ain't the milkman. It ain't none of that. It ain't no cheating. It ain't nothing going on. It's just that gene will bounce around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, genetics, man.
Even with height, even with height, how do you figure? How is it possible that Michael Jordan's dad is 5'9" and he's 6'6"? His
Shit,
mother,
hey, I'm 6'1", and my mom was 6'6", and my dad is 5'5". You know,
wow.
and I got a son that's 6'8", and my
You know what I'm
wife
saying?
is 5'9". You know what I'm saying?
See what I'm
So
saying?
yeah,
So
it took 2 generations to grow by a full foot. You know,
it bounces around, like I
yeah,
said. So that's I don't believe that I think that, and one thing about that professor is missing is always bet on black, in the words of Wesley Snipes. I'm saying that black genetics, we're not a recessive gene. Black is not a recessive gene. It's a dominant gene. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like two white people can't have a black baby, but two black people can have a light baby, a dark baby. You know what I'm
Red
saying?
baby,
A
white.
red baby. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like it's a stronger gene. If you know genetics, it's a stronger gene. White people have a recessive gene. Like if you know, even if you go by color, white
Yeah,
and
I
black.
mean, yeah. When you talk about the recessive genes, that's when
I
you start talking
mean,
about the hazel eyes, the red hairs. You know,
exactly. So to me, it is possible. I say that it is possible that a black person, you can still see traces of a black person. That's why you get these people now, like who was that one white looking lady who came out who said she's biracial? Jessica Alba said she black and she look white as hell.
no, she don't.
You know what I'm saying?
She don't look brown, but she look.
She don't look black like
No,
that,
no, she don't look black, but she looks
but you can
brown,
see it
kind
in her
of.
though. But you can see some traces of something in her though. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
I just went by her last name. You know, that's why.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like a lot of times you can find traces of people. You can look at certain people and see traces of something
Yeah,
in them.
or at least tell they
Um,
off white. You know.
exactly, that something else is in there. You know what I'm saying? You can see
Yeah.
it. Now, Hilton further dismantled Kakom's theory, which he said inaccurately referenced a physician who described her as having a true mulatto face at birth. The physician in question was born in 1787, 43 years after Queen Charlotte was born. Fact-checking website Synopsis rated the theory that Queen Charlotte had African ancestry as unproven. Um, Buckingham Palace and some historians have dismissed the importance of the theory. Kokom's theory resurfaced when Meghan Markle married Prince Harry, which has continuously sparked discussion about the British royal family and race. But many of the stories, you know, at the time cited Kokom as the only source for the theory. I found it distasteful that black women should be seen as alien and different, and that the presidents need to be found for Meghan Markle within the royal family. He'll say there are far more interesting stories than to be told about race and British. They're looking for misnomers in the British royal family. So basically, this Hilton woman, she just balks at the theory that that Queen Charlotte was black. She said,
Yeah, but you know what that means? That
um,
means when she was born, she's a pink baby. I was pink when I was born.
exactly.
You
I
know,
mean,
when it comes to genetics, man, you can't really.
you
That's
don't know
really,
how stuff can go turn out.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You'll
You
get
really
a
don't
mixed
know.
bag.
You know, just like me, my son taller than me. You know what I'm saying? So it just bounces. It keep bouncing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It'll you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So
with these
I'm taller than my
generations of
father. You
fast
know?
food with steroids in it, the offsprings are getting bigger.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know. I disagree with that I agree with the theory. Like you say, if you look at the picture once again, oh, not the new picture, the old picture, she clearly just look at her face. Clearly, you can
Yeah, that's
see,
Felicia right there.
you can see. I know some sisters who look like that
Yeah, she
right
got
now.
kinky hair. Look like she just took out her cornrows and shit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. You know what I'm
Got
saying?
the Beyonce swag going on.
You
Shit.
know, come on, man. But last
Good
moving right
gracious.
along, our last story coming up on the last part of the show, y'all. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button,
Get them
share.
down.
Definitely hit that down
Bing,
below.
bing, 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 bing.
Definitely. That yeah. Now, since we talking about issues that affect the black community here, I'm gonna end it with this one here. As you see, this beautiful black family here, boy. There was an article that came out. Actually, oh, I might have lost that article. There's an article that came out that was showing like the depopulation that was going on in that's going on in the Black community. It's like a whole depopulation, and they listed some of the reasons why, you know, that the community is getting depopulated or whatever. Man, hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I had that. You know what? I might have erased that story. Hold on.
Let him use you.
Actually, yeah, I had just seen that story, but I'll just go over the gist of it. They were naming some things. There's a lot of things here that they were naming why the Black community is down. But you know what I'll do, just to be honorable and just so we do that our story justice, we'll cover it on the B side of the game, and we will go end it with our last story here. Welfare Favre. Welfare Favre.
Hey, we let him off the hook last week.
Let his punk ass off the hook.
He just fell to the wayside.
Yeah, man. As you know, Brett Favre, man, this dude. First of all, let's go jump right into the narrative. The narrative have always been that Black people have been welfare queens, and it's only when you think of Black welfare, you think of Black people. When you look at the numbers, we actually ain't the most people on welfare. It's white people, and this is not nothing I'm making up. This is you can actually go on Google and look up who receives more welfare, and you're gonna see the numbers because they outnumber us, of course. What I'm saying? They more of them there. So I don't know why we the face of the welfare thing, whatever, welfare queens. But Brett Favre has and actually he's from one of the poorest states, Mississippi, man.
No, he's from the poorest state.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say one. Well, I know Alabama is right there too, but yeah, you know what? Not like Mississippi though. I feel
scraping the bottom.
Personal. I give you the short version of it, or just paraphrase it. Now, basically, he got $4 million or $5 million, and he was supposed to do right with the money. Instead, he built a volleyball arena for his daughter or something like that.
Yeah, but then they dug up some more receipts that he actually took $500,000 from another fund with another politician to donate a volleyball facility at the high school.
Damn.
At his daughter's high school. So he on record twice for scandalous treatment. But and then how they were so brazen with it that they just texting each other and talking about like this isn't gonna fall back on me and stuff. And all the receipts are there. And we ain't hearing the people about this. They still talking about email goddamn Doka. You know what I mean?
Right. Because when Deshaun Watson thing popped up, that was all you heard on the news. But then you don't really hear nothing. You don't really hear ESPN touching on it too much.
No. I'll give it to Fox Sports because Chris Broussard ain't letting them off the hook on that shit.
I heard that.
Partner. Yeah. There's a couple realers over there on Fox Sports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I heard. Yeah, I know Chris Broussard. Yeah, that's my dude there. Yeah, I don't think he'll left him off the hook. I don't agree with everything he say, but I agree with him on this one. It said the state said Favre paid back $500,000, but he's now being asked to repay the remaining $100,000 plus $228,000 interest. You know what I'm saying? So, man, Favre is I just don't. I mean, and he said he's been in the media talking hella shit. You know what I'm saying about Black folks. He's had a lot of controversial statements and a lot of things he said, and you know what I'm saying. And then you sit your ass up there, get all that money, and think about it. Jackson, they had a water crisis.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is the most popular man ever from Mississippi beside Elvis Presley. And so they protecting his image,
Exactly. And that's what they do. They own code for theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
That's why we got to be on code for ours, y'all. It's like they see, you notice that's what I'm saying. They're not throwing him under the bus like that. You know what I'm saying? We getting this the media. We be worried to throw our brother under the bus. They did wrong, like especially R. Kelly. They was go. Now once again, I don't agree what to do. He should be locked up. But some of the stuff they was doing, you know what I'm saying, was kind of suspect. But we'll go in and in and in and in. But you notice when they people do something wrong, they don't go in like that.
Now they try to sweep it under the rug. They gonna do this shit like the critical race theory.
Exactly.
We don't talk about that. The incident without a name.
They said that this was Mississippi's largest public corruption case in history. It said which tens of millions of dollars earmarked. Earmark game for needy families was misspent. Involves a number of sports figures with no ties to the state, including NFL royalty, Brett Favre, and a famous former pro wrestler. I wonder who that wrestler is. I hope it wasn't Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair. Or Hulk Hogan. You know what? I would say Ric Flair. Probably Hulk Hogan on races.
Yeah, Greg, have a Valentine.
What you say, brother? We're going to take the welfare money. You know what I'm saying?
You said they're going to go to bed and take the bread, say the prayers, brother. And we're going to
24 inch fight odds. I got 24 gallons of milk in my fridge, brother.
Vitamins.
Hell no. Yeah, man. But now at the center, though, it says the former head of State's Department of Human Services, John Davis, who also, now the head of the State's Department of Human Services, John Davis, also pleaded guilty on September 22nd, this federal counts of conspiracy and theft and state counts of conspiracy and fraud against the government. Now that's who Brett Favre was with texting, wasn't it?
Yeah. The chicken don't come home to roost though. Don't you worry about it.
Now I said other people have pleaded guilty to state charges, include a mother and son who ran a nonprofit and an education company. Now they trying to throw other people in there with it, like it wasn't just him. They trying to throw other people in there with it. No, check your ass whipping by yourself.
Collateral damage.
Right. Come on, dude. You grown ass man. Come on. Check your ass whipping by yourself. But Brett Favre, it says, he's the biggest face in it. It says that the Human Services paid $1.1 million in welfare money to a nonprofit known as Mississippi Community Education Center, which then paid Brett Favre Enterprises twice for speaking engagements, radio and promotional events, and business partner development. The idea was that the money would go toward a new $5 million volleyball facility at Southern Miss, which Favre was building where Favre's daughter was playing volleyball. So he didn't like, his daughter didn't like the gym, so she was like, "Daddy, give me a new one." He's like, "All right, I'll do it." Favre didn't make appearances and later repaid the money, though $228,000 interest is still outstanding. It said text messages made public in court documents show in July 2019, Favre texted with Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant to ask if welfare money could be put toward building an indoor facility for the football team at the same school. And that never went anywhere, with Bryant texting Favre something that we have to follow the law. Ain't that about a bitch?
This dude wanted a building with his name on it, for that lasting legacy. And when they didn't want to pay the freight or couldn't pay the freight, and so he found somebody that will funnel that shit for him at the expense of the the disenfranchised. Look at him.
Welfare Favre.
Look like Whitey Bulger in that moment.
Hell yeah. Now remember the unnamed pro wrestler. I found out the name of the pro wrestler. The pro wrestler was Ted DiBiase.
Oh, not the man. Everybody has a price.
Everybody has a price. Brett Favre would have
he had his valet Virgil with him.
Hell yeah, man. They said,
he was a slave owner.
Man, motherfucker, it said this nigga, it said Ted DiBiase Sr. and sons Teddy and Brett. Ted DiBiase Sr., the $1 Million Man, was a fixture in pro sports, pro wrestling in the 80s and 90s. And he said with his famous line, "Everybody has a price." DiBiase later became a Christian minister. He lives in Mississippi, owns Heart of David Ministries.
Hey, Ted DiBiase came here and preached at like Jerusalem or some church.
For real?
Yeah, one of the Walker churches he preached at. Yeah, he did that shit. Wrestled on Saturday night, nigga was preaching on Sunday morning.
It said, check this out. It said his Heart of David Ministries received $1.7 million in welfare money under the guise of providing leadership training. The organization was ordered to repay about $722,000 in welfare money. The eldest DiBiase also received $250,000 through DiBiase Development to be a motivational speaker. In response to the civil lawsuit, DiBiase denied the state's allegations and requested the suit be dismissed. It said DiBiase received over $3 million in federal anti-poverty funds over 2 years for things like leadership training through Priceless Ventures and supporting the multiple needs of inner city youth through Family Orientum. None of the services were provided. So that's what I'm saying. That's what they be doing. This is the same shit they did with Black Lives Matter, because really Black Lives Matter ran by
white people. As Uncle Lee was saying, a man of the cloth.
Look, this is nothing new. This is what they do. They set up these non-fucking profits. They say, look, let's say something happened to a black person. What they'll do, a bunch of white people get together and say, you know what, we're going to form a nonprofit and we'll collect the money on behalf. This is such an injustice. We're going to collect the money on behalf of these people right here. And what they do when they get the money, they don't ever give it to the people. They bounce. They covered that on the episode of Atlanta. If y'all watch the show Atlanta, they covered that on the. And remember, it was all about black children and this and that. And then it's like, where the black people at? They ain't getting none of the money. Y'all motherfuckers just sitting up here eating off of death. You know what I'm saying? Like they did with Tamir Rice and all that. You know what I'm saying? That's what they said. Black Lives Matter, the business, not the slogan. The business did, you know what I'm saying?
Because the message is still alive, but
remember
blown to bits.
Tamir Rice's mother came out and said they never gave her shit. They didn't do nothing. They was just sitting there. They just came there to collect and bounce. So this is what they do, man. Like, so this ain't the first time this has happened. It's just like this is what goes on in America all day, every day. These two ain't the only ones that's getting funds for nonprofits they ain't doing shit for. I bet you if you really look up and do the research, you could probably find a bunch of inner city nonprofit programs ran by white folks who you're gonna see that they don't do shit in the community. You ain't gonna see none of that money spent in the community at all. I mean, this ain't shit new. I've seen this shit happen before. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it don't really surprise me. It just probably surprised everybody was Brett Favre doing it and shit, because you think of Brett Favre a millionaire and all that, but that just goes to show, you know, back in
you think he moneyed up, got copper wire knee pads and shit.
Yeah. See, but Brett Favre no one getting that money like they get now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he from that same generation as MJ now. That, you know, but MJ he had that he had that suction and got good off the court.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's a bunch of people named in this lawsuit with Brett Favre, but one of them being the $1 million man is fucking hilarious to me. You know what I'm saying?
Man of the clock, getting it in.
You know what I'm saying? That's hilarious. The $1 million man involved in the welfare scam. Talking about some leadership training.
Hey, that's some of the hot juicy scandal right there.
Listen, he got $3.9 million for leadership training for inner city youth. How many black nonprofits you think get that kind of money? That's actually ran by black people to actually do something in the community, to actually fucking work with the kids, to actually mentor the kids. How much money do you think they actually get?
No, maybe only Boys and Girls Club, but I don't think that's run by black people.
Because think about it, Swag. What's always the narrative with the community center? We got to raise money for the community center. We got to keep the community center open. We got to
feed the kids lunches.
Exactly. They ain't never got no fucking money at a community center, but then these motherfuckers get $3.9 million talking about some leadership training, and they ain't did one motherfucking leadership training.
Hey, Brett Favre never did any of those speeches either.
Nah, he didn't do them.
yeah, that was that. What they call it, that no-show money, like with the unions.
Yeah. No, man.
No-show job. Give me 2 no-shows.
Exactly. Well, it's time for that time again, man, for us to cruise on out on y'all. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Weekend Hot Podcast. Coming back at you. We're going to be back with a B-side episode. We're going to go round and round talking about 50 Cent and his son has been in the media lately. His son said $6,700 a month ain't enough for child support for a single mother. So you know we're
going to dig in on that.
Yeah, we're going to dig in on that one. So look for that episode coming out soon this week, sometime this week. But we definitely thank you for watching. We thank you for the love. We thank you for the support, the donations, also your humor. So make sure you comment in the comment. Make sure you just, even if you don't like and subscribe, comment in there. Say, fuck y'all niggas, I hate y'all. Or even just say you love it something. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate all the comments, good or bad. So, and also, don't forget to hit the email address if you want to make a suggestion, or you want us to talk about a certain topic on the show, or you want to suggest somebody for us to interview. You can always do that at the weekendhighpodcast@gmail.com. And other than that, it's been great. We're going to catch you soon. Like I say, the B-side episode is coming up soon. It's going, I mean, like literally right after this one. So y'all check it out, man. It's going to be a good one. We're going to catch y'all on the flip side. It's your boy KZL, KZ, in Mainescenes, known on media platforms. And my man Swag. There you go. AKA Coach Cheese in this one. Cheese! They fuck Cheese. Man, I'm gonna cry. They Cheese fun. Man, they did Cheese wrong and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, let's go. Shit. Nigga hit his head. Let's go.
Oh, they did Cheese dirty.
Yeah, they did Cheese dirty as hell, man. But shout out to brother say Coach Cheese. He got 3 names and shit.
Oh, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs.
There you go. Shout out to that brother, man. Oh, shout out to all the old school brothers.
Yeah. Hey, Preach still getting it in too, though.
Yeah, hell. Oh, that's my dude there, Glenn Turman, my man.
Turman, man. Big time.
Yep. But we're gonna be back at y'all. Peace out. Hit that like, subscribe button. Peace.
Peace.